Welcome back to another installment of Nightmares and News. I'm your host, Bumps in the Night, and here's the news. Vice Press brings Sam Raimi's classic Evil Dead 2 back to VHS. Don't you wish you could go back to a time where VHSs were still in style? Well, now you can. While many would argue that VHS is a long dead format, horror fans know better, and here in 2023, Sam Raimi's Evil Dead 2 is about to make its groovy return in video cassette. Over the past few years, Vice Press has specialized in creating officially licensed limited edition fine art movie posters featuring art production exclusively for them by artists from across the world. On November 16th, they launched their latest line, Vice Press Home Video, a collaboration between Vice Press's Matt Ferguson and James Hinshaw. Vice Press Home Video launches their first released Evil Dead 2, produced and sold under license in UK from Studio Canal. Available in 2 editions, the collector's edition comes in a clear clamshell with a double-sided cover. It also comes with a set of 6 postcards featuring Evil Dead 2 movie posters presented in the collector's edition sleeve. The blood splatter variant comes in a cardboard slip cover. Do you plan on picking up a copy for your collection? We'd like to, but we still don't have a VCR to play it in. Back to Dead by Daylight, Chucky from Child's Play is announced as the newest killer for the Dead by Daylight series. Chucky arrives on November 28th. After giving fans the Stranger Things treat earlier this month, Behavioral Interactive announced via IGN that Chucky from Child's Play will be joining Dead by Daylight on November 28th. Best of all, they got the returning voice of Chucky to reprise the role in this new DLC, as well as Jennifer Tilly voicing an alternate variant of Chucky as the Good Gal costume inspired by Bride of Chucky's Tiffany. All the details regarding Chucky and his abilities are still to be revealed, but Behavior Interactive has dropped a few hints as to what he'll be able to do in the game. Chucky has a slice and dice ability that lets him lunge at his victims in order to more effectively cover ground. Behavioral has even introduced Chucky's human form and Charles Lee Ray into the game, assisting him in spirit form, assist him in hooking survivors as well as interrupting them while they're vaulting or repairing. Lastly, Chucky's scamper ability lets him leap through windows and move under pallets. Interestingly, the copyright for the images provided to IGN include a copyright for 2004's Seed of Chucky. Does this mean we could be seeing a costume for Glenn at some point? We'll have to wait and see. No word if we'll be seeing Andy as a survivor either. Dead by Daylight is available now on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch, and PC via Steam and the Epic Games Store. So, Planet of Terror, we revisit Grindhouse. Grindhouse revisiting the influential box office failure via Vision's new Blu-ray release. Grindhouse is one of the most influential box office failures of the 21st century. Despite grossing a paltry $25.4 million at the box office on a budget of around $60 million, Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino's 2007 love letter to the exploitation cinema has managed to spawn 4 spin-off movies: Machete, Machete Kills, Hobo with a Shotgun, and now Thanksgiving. In addition to reintroducing a vintage aesthetic that has been mimicked by countless other throwback movies, Rodriguez's Planet Terror and Tarantino's Death Proof each have their merits. The former plays non-stop action, while the latter is more indicative of a genuine exploitation fare. But Grindhouse is more than just a double feature. It's an experience, complete with faux aging to recreate the look of beat-up film prints along with vintage retro-inspired trailers for non-existent movies. Planet Terror is the first part of the double bill, feeling something like The Return of the Living Dead meets The Universal Soldier, directed by John Carpenter for Canon Films. Rodriguez leans into 80s camp with over-the-top action, spontaneous explosions, and splattery gore that marries practical effects by Greg Nicotero and Howard Berger of K&B FX Digital Aid. Death Proof closes out the double feature. Just in the time for the feature version of Thanksgiving, Grindhouse has released a 4-disc region-free Blu-ray set from Australia's Via Vision Entertainment. Limited to 2,000 copies, it features the theatrical version of Grindhouse, the extended cuts of Planet Terror, and Death Proof. Do you plan on picking this up for your collection? We're considering, depending on price. From the creators of In Search of Darkness, a documentary announced Terabytes, the evolution of horror gaming. Those who enjoyed the In Search of Darkness documentaries will no doubt be familiar with Creator VC. They dipped their toes into the video game realm earlier this year with the FPS, first-person shooter, and have now decided to delve deeper into the horror side of things with Terabytes, the evolution of horror gaming documentary. Terabytes will explore the rich history of horror in the video game world, unraveling the stories behind everything from its pixelated past to its newest nightmares. Toting never-before-seen interviews with some of the incredible teams of individuals behind horror games' most important titles. The Terabytes documentary plans on bringing you a private tour through video game horror's history, guided by the very people who created it. Those individuals included developers, composers, voice actors, artists, and writers, who all detail their secret techniques and fine details that feed into the creation of horror games' most atmospheric titles. Terabytes will take the viewer from the inception of horror gaming, going back into its origins and following the genre's development into the modern era. Along the way, the documentary will explore the games and their cultural impact, Creator VC hasn't yet started production on Terabytes, instead are looking to fans for input on what they want to see covered by the documentary. In order to do so, head on over to Terabyte's official website, read the synopsis, and give your feedback on what you think. That's all the news I have for you today, my lovely fiends. Stay spooky, keep those claws sharp, and consume more souls of the living. I've been your host, Bumps on the Night, and remember, horror is a beautiful thing. And if you guys didn't know, we recently dove back into the podcast game with reviewing movies. We recently reviewed Troll, a 1986 horror film that was something. We're in the process of working on the Troll 2 review, but for now, you can watch more Nightmares and News. For now, you can watch the first review of Troll on our YouTube channel.